You must love podcasts if you're listening to this. Do you want to start your own one or you already have one? Then follow Smarter Podcasting to get expert advice from me, Niall Mackay, the podcast guy. Since 2019, we've worked with over 40 podcasters, produced over 700 episodes, and helped many podcasts get to the top of the Apple Podcast charts. And right now, I'm offering you a professional edit for just $27. Click the link in the show notes. There are misconceptions about Vietnam. People just think of water buffaloes, rice paddies, and lanterns. If you live in the big city like Saigon, it's just like any other big city. There's buildings, there's transport, there's cars, there's bikes, there's food, there's cocktails, there's beer. There's all the same things as in any other city. But Saigon is really special. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, like, this is absolutely pointless, why am I telling you this? The reason is this is a massive difference that's changed in Saigon. Hey, thank you for listening to this episode of a Vietnam podcast. I'm your host, Niall Mackay. I've been living in Vietnam now for 8 years. I first came here for a vacation and absolutely fell in love with the place. Came back, decided to stay for a year, and that turned into 8, and it's probably going to be 10 now. I started this podcast in 2019 just as a hobby, and it's now my full-time job to make podcasts for other people. This podcast, a Vietnam podcast, it was on a break for a couple of years, mostly because I was so busy making podcasts for other people, I couldn't put the same time and energy into it. But if I'm honest, I'd lost the passion for it. I'd lost the motivation. I was booking guests at the last minute. I wasn't trying anything new, and I felt like I was repeating myself all the time. So it took a long time to do because I mostly kept doing it because of you, because you were listening, you were watching, and I didn't want to stop it. But I had to do it in the end. And I'm glad I did. It helped me recharge my batteries. We now work with over 40 podcasts across the world to help them make the best podcast possible. If you ever want help with your podcast, then please reach out to me. But I decided this year, as I could see that people were still listening to the podcast, I decided let's bring it back. I had a little bit more time on my hands. And since I've started recording new episodes, I really have got that passion and excitement back to talk to people about Vietnam and about Saigon. And it's been amazing to see so many other podcasts over the years come about, all about Vietnam as well. And there's obviously a massive interest out there about that as well. So the passion has come back so much, I've decided to do something that I had never done before until recently. And that's make episodes all by myself with no guests whatsoever. Just me telling you about my life in Saigon. I realized that there are misconceptions about Vietnam, especially if you don't live here. People just think of water buffaloes, rice paddies, and lanterns, and pho. And while some of that is true, if you live in the big city like me, like Saigon, it's just like any other big city. There's rivers, there's buildings, there's transport, there's cars, there's bikes, there's food, there's cocktails, there's beer. There's all the same things as in any other city. But Saigon is really special, and there is a reason why there are so many expats that have been here for a long time that absolutely love it, like me, that can't leave. And I decided to do some solo episodes to share with you some of my favorite things to do in Saigon, because I realized I do have some inside knowledge, some inside tips. And so I wanted to share them with you, whether you live here or not, and you maybe didn't know about them, or you needed a reminder, or you completely disagree with what I'm saying, or you're thinking of coming out to Vietnam, you found this podcast, you wanted to learn more about Vietnam, and it'll hopefully help you with where you want to go. So I've already covered with you recently my favorite craft beer bars, and my favorite places to go for happy hour. Some of those that were on the happy hour list are going to be on this list as well. I'm sorry about that. But today I want to share with you my favorite cocktail bars in Saigon. Now, I know that probably makes me sound... No, does it? I was going to say it makes me sound like a pretentious wanker. I feel like cocktail culture has really started worldwide in the last few years. I know when I was growing up, like a cocktail was a vodka and Coke. Then if you were really fancy, you had a gin and tonic. Like that was as highbrow as cocktails got. And then something happened in the last 5 years where we've all gone cocktail crazy. And it's pretty cool. Like, I feel like an adult. I'm an adult. I can drink a Negroni and I appreciate it and I like it. But so I do go out for cocktails quite often these days. Actually, probably more than beer, I would say. It's something really enjoyable to do, but it's nice to go out and appreciate, as we talked about before, the whiskey sour at 86 proof. or a good Negroni. So I'm going to share with you in no particular order where are my favorite places to go for a cocktail in Saigon, but there are many, many more, and I haven't been to all of them. I'm pretty bad. I've got my favorites, and I'm probably going to keep going back to them again and again and again. So it's not an extensive list, and there's probably loads that I have not covered. So if you have any ideas for me to go to, then please let me know. If they have a happy hour, even better. And if you want me to talk about them on a future podcast, let me know as well. Send me a message. The link is in the show notes. So let's get started. So I have 11 locations to share with you today, and they are in no particular order. If you want to go back and listen to the episode I did about the best happy hours in Saigon, then you'll hear me talk extensively about 86 Proof. It's on One Tui in Tao Dien, which is the expat neighborhood, but it's that term expat, most people think of a Western person, in my opinion, but it's actually probably more Korean expats there, lots of Japanese, lots of Indian expats, and that area has really, really changed since COVID, and it's more and more of the Vietnamese population have opened up businesses there. There's more and more Vietnamese people coming in, and why not? Because we're in Vietnam. So it is traditionally was known as the French area, or Little France, I think it was called for a while. It's known as the expat neighborhood, but it's really, really not. And there's so much more to it than that. But there are a lot of cool bars and cool coffee spots, cool brunch places. And one of my favorite cocktail places to go to is 86 Proof. So go check it out. I mentioned it in the previous episode. Really good happy hour, but go at any time. Really cool vibe, nice atmosphere, and the cocktails are amazing. Number 2, which I mentioned in the happy hour episode, but go at any time because it's a really cool atmosphere, is Layla. What is really cool about this place, this is one of the reasons why I think lots of people love Saigon, is the juxtaposition. I use that word a lot. You see in the buildings, you see this brand new building like Bitexco Tower, and then right next to it, you'll see a tin hut. Now, again, I hate to say that because maybe the person in the tin hut might be impoverished, really poor. You know what I'm saying? The juxtaposition in Saigon is amazing, and the entrance to Layla sums that up. So you walk in, you have to go up these old stairs that have probably been there from the 60s. If you didn't know where you were going, you would think, where the hell am I? If you didn't know that Saigon was one of the safest places in the world, you might be a bit sketched out. You might think I'm about to get my organs harvested, but don't worry, just follow the stairs up. You walk along a long hallway, and then you're going to open a door into a really modern, really nice looking cocktail bar. Go in, get the salted caramel espresso, get a table by the window that overlooks the street, do some people watching. Just go in and enjoy yourself. Have a really good time. They've got an amazing cocktail menu and the food's really good as well. So go check out Layla. And number 3, I think, is owned by the same person. Somebody can tell me that. But it's Summer Experiment, and that's pretty new on the scene as well. I've only been there a couple of times, and I really need my wife next to me right now because Adri can remember way more about this place. Actually, my memory is so bad, but I do know it's a really cool place. So make sure you go check out Summer Experiment. This is the worst podcast ever that I'm telling you, recommending you to go to a cocktail bar that I can't even remember much about it. But I do remember it was really cool, and I do remember it was from the same people that did Layla. And if it's done by the people that did Layla, it means that it's good. So trust me, go check out Summer Experiment. Now, number 4 on my list, I have good memories of this place. I do remember it. It's called Stirr. Now, I know, Scottish accent, you might be like, what the hell did he just say? S-T-I-R, Stirr. One of the things that I love about this place is it's like a hidden cocktail bar. So just as I was talking about the juxtaposition of walking into Layla, This place is right behind Bintan Market. So if you've been to Bintan Market, you'll know the little hem, the little laneway that I'm talking about that's filled with all the nail salons. You can sit there and just get your nails done, I guess. I've never had it done there, but there's just this little hem that just smells of nail polish. And you have to walk through there. And then if you want some good food, there's Bep Me in there, which we can talk about that in another episode. But then if you go left up these little stairs that you're probably thinking, why am I walking up here? I'm about to walk into somebody's house. There's a doorway, and that is Stirr. And then you walk in, and it's like wooden panelings, leather seats, really small, low ceiling. The bartenders are all wearing like waistcoats. And if you go all the way up to the window, you can actually then look out and look over the street, which is always fun to do in Saigon. And they make amazing drinks as well. And I should have put them on my list, but they have an amazing happy hour as well. So it's just a really cool place, really relaxed, really nice. It's really nice for a date night. If you're taking your wife out or your partner out for a date, then go out and check out Stirr before you head out for dinner. Number 5 on my list, I mentioned this guy in the episode about craft beer because he's behind Brick and Barrel, and I completely butchered his name, and I'm still going to butcher his name. So I'm just going to call him by his first name, but it's Tyler, and it's Lost and Found. They've just been nominated for the Vietnam Awards. Sorry, they've just been nominated for the Saigon Awards for Best Cocktail Bar. I haven't seen the results of that yet, but that is how good Lost and Found is. And again, really, all of these places, what makes them so cool, what makes Saigon so cool is their location. They're just, and again, don't know the name of the street. I need to learn street names, but it's just near downtown D1. And you go down, again, look in the notes. I will put the address in the notes. You go down this kind of street, nondescript, bunch of old buildings, a couple of cafes. And if you were walking down there, even during the day or at night, you're probably thinking, where the hell am I? Like, there's no way that this bar is here. You then have to go up some old stairs, which again is just this really cool vibe, walk down a hallway, and then you'll find the door for Lost and Found. Really small bar, but really great staff, and they make unbelievable drinks. Tyler is a cocktail master. He makes cocktails for bars and people all over the city. He gets hired to go and make cocktails. He really knows what he's doing. He's trained his team up well. So it's really small, really cozy. The staff are amazing. You can also go as a group because they have stairs that take you up to like a mezzanine floor. That was the last time I was there. We were with a big group. And it's just that really cool Saigon feel that you think that with the stairs up to the mezzanine floor, you're kind of like, I think in most other countries, this probably wouldn't pass health and safety and it's probably not allowed, but it's fun and it's cool. And it is a really good atmosphere. So make sure you check out Lost and Found and ask for Tyler. He'll be the guy covered in tattoos if he's there. Number 6 on my list, again, mentioned it in the happy hour episode. It's owned by the same people behind 86 Proof. It's a few doors down. It's called Mammy. It's Ons One Twee in Tao Dien. They have a really good happy hour that goes to 8 p.m. But what is really cool about it, as I mentioned in the last episode, is before it opened, it was an hot dog place called Valhalla. There's a tailor underneath, and I'm pretty sure above it, there was just a storeroom for the tailor or somebody's storeroom anyway. I remember seeing boxes in the window, and then all of a sudden, there was a cocktail bar there, and just really cool. The bottom bit is open to the street, so it's again really cool. One of my favorite things, well, my wife and I's favorite things to do in Saigon is just people watch, hang out. We decided to come to Mammy Cocktails that I've just probably talked about on the video. You're now seeing this bit that I've added in. I got the oi, which I'm going to not pick it up right now because I'll end up dropping it. It's got Lady True Gin in it, citrus, cardamom, and some Lily Blanc in there as well. Adrian, who's manning the camera, she got something with jalapenos in it because she's a spicy Mexican and loves spicy drinks. So it's got Jose Cuervo, cucumber and jalapeno. We're in this cool spot. One street, we get to watch all the crazy traffic go by. We get to people watch, as I probably talked about, and biscuit dish for Alex as well because she loves it. So, cheers. Thanks, Mammy. Number 7 on the list is, I think, the newest addition to the cocktail bars in Saigon, but the things change so quickly here and so many places open up. It's probably not by the time that this episode goes out, but it's called Junka. I've only been there once, and again, it's got a dance floor. It's like a nighttime place. We were having a bit of a boogie. It seems to be more of a nighttime place. When we were there anyway, we were there a bit later at night, had a dance floor, there was a big party in, there was a really good atmosphere, everyone was having a good time. The entrance is on the ground floor. You probably wouldn't even know it was there if you were walking by. It's on the first floor. Go in the entrance, up a flight of stairs, and it opens up into this really big cocktail bar, massive wraparound bar. I only had one drink there, but as I said, it's just brand new. It's really nice. Make sure you go check it out. I wanted to share with you about one of my favorite affiliate partners, and that is Fiverr. I've been using Fiverr for years for everything from ordering YouTube thumbnails to keyword research, writing podcast articles, even to Canva designs and thumbnails and more. So whether you're a budding entrepreneur, a podcaster, or anyone in between, Fiverr has got you covered. It really is the go-to platform if you want to find freelancers offering a massive range of services to help you on any project. Maybe you need a stunning new logo or just a short animation. Whatever you need, you can find it on Fiverr. What I love the most is how easy Fiverr makes it to connect with talented freelancers from around the world, all at prices that will fit whatever your budget is. Plus, with Fiverr's secure payment system, you can trust that your transactions are safe and secure. No dodgy people you meet on Facebook groups that disappear with your money and never give you what you want. What, that's only happened to me? As an affiliate partner, I will get a small commission if you use the link and at no extra cost to you. As an affiliate partner, I will get a small commission if you click my link and you buy something, all at no extra cost to you. And best of all, you will be directly supporting the making of this podcast that you're listening to for free, but it is not free to make. So why wait? Head over to somewhere that you've probably never been before. It's called the show notes. So whatever app you're listening in, if it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anything at all, head to the show notes, click on my special link, and then you can browse thousands of gigs ready to help you with your next project. Number 8 on my list was mentioned again in the Happy Hour episode. It's called The Company, which is on Pham Viet Chan in Bintan, which is I think it was voted one of the coolest suburbs in the world, if I remember correctly. I really should do some research before these podcasts, shouldn't I? But it takes too much time. Go check out The Company, just on Pham Viet Chan, which is like little Japantown as well. There's loads of good food there that you can check out too. But they have a really good happy hour till 9 o'clock. It's a small bar downstairs. There's, I think, just 6 seats, and then there's more seating upstairs, which I haven't been to yet. But it's that small, little cozy atmosphere, low roof, that just makes it like a really nice, cool place to hang out. It's got a nice vibe, and the cocktails are amazing as well. So check out The Company on Pham Viet Chan. Now, number 9, 10, and 11. You could easily do a pub crawl with these 3, or a cocktail crawl. They're all on McT Boy, right next to Malt, which I talked about in the previous episodes. And they're all very different, but all really good. So number 9 is Firkin, number 10 is Lady Chu, and number 11 is Ratcharum. So number 9, Lady Chu. It's a type of gin that's made here in Vietnam, and it's become really popular, really big in a short amount of time. And so they sell a whole bunch of different drinks using the different Lady Chu. And I'm saying that again completely wrong. I'm so sorry, but they make loads of different drinks using the Lady Chu gin. There's different flavors of the gin as well. And so there's just so many different things that they can do, more than just a gin and tonic. And there is a happy hour there as well. I didn't include them in my happy hour episode. I can't remember what it is, but it is probably 4 to 7, I'm going to guess. I'll put it in the notes so you can get that. So go have a gin and tonic or a gin drink at Lady Chu. And then go to Firkin, which is, as a Scotsman, one of my favourites, a whiskey bar. So they have a massive, massive whiskey list on there. They have cheap ones that people like me can afford. They have expensive ones that the people like you can maybe afford. But they've got a massive, massive list on there. Really long bar. This is everything I'm telling you. I know all of these sound similar. I know I'm terrible with adjectives and describing these bars. But what the point I'm trying to make is, what I mentioned in the beginning is, people have an opinion of Saigon and of Vietnam, and they think of water buffaloes and rice paddies. I've done previous interviews where people have talked about their families back home think that they live in like a thatch hut. Their opinion of Vietnam is so different, and opinion of Saigon is so different to the reality here. In the 8 years I've been here, I've seen it change dramatically. I know people who've been here for 10, 12 years. 10 or 12 years ago, if you could get a Heineken, you were over the moon because it was the only type of beer that you could get. The couple of Western places that maybe sold pizzas and burgers were like pretty bad because they couldn't get the ingredients. You just had to eat Vietnamese food all the time, which that's fine. Vietnamese food is amazing, but people like myself, we're not from Vietnam. It's difficult to eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You might want a bit of variety, right? So 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 8 years ago, there weren't many options. And when it comes to cocktail bars, again, it would have been like when I was a kid. If you got a vodka and Coke or a gin and tonic, that would probably be almost the height of getting a cocktail. I know there was hotels like the Rex, which have been there forever. I think if you wanted to get a cocktail, which would be like a bloody tequila sunrise or something like that, you'd have to go to a hotel. You're going to pay over the odds. It's not made with any, skill. That's what I'm trying to make the point with this episode is I've only listed off like 11 cocktail bars, and there's probably about another 100 that I don't know about. And if you're listening to this from back home, wherever home is, if you're listening to this from the West and you're thinking like, this is absolutely pointless, why am I telling you this? The reason is this is a massive difference that's changed in Saigon, and it's not all pho and it's not all iced coffee, which are amazing. There are so many more things to do here. So if you are visiting, again, you are going to want to do all those traditional things, but if it comes to the evening and you start to think, I want to go out for a nice cocktail, go out and check out these places. Like I mentioned, Lady Chiu is a gin that's made here in Vietnam. So if you do want to still make sure that you're doing something Vietnamese, go check out one of those places. A lot of these people are owned by Vietnamese people or Viet Q people, so you are still supporting the local economy. The staff are definitely Vietnamese, and as I mentioned, they're really skilled at what they do. It's amazing to see what they can do. So go check out these places, go support them. I feel like as a tourist, if you come to Saigon, there really isn't that much. There's not a lot of obvious things to do in the evening. But the reason I want to share this with you is if you do want to go and check out one of those places, then that's what I would recommend. And a lot of these places are in and around D1. District 2, we did an episode with Vince Nguyen. We talked about how District 2 is becoming more of a tourist destination. It's, as I said, known as an expat area, but I think more and more tourists are venturing out there. It's only like 20, 30 minutes outside the city. And then also, as I mentioned, the company on Phan Viet Chan in the Bintan region, that's like Bintan district. It's a really cool spot. It's one of, I definitely think it got voted one of the coolest neighborhoods in the whole world. And the Phan Viet Chan street, there's so many good things to do there. There's a Rabbit Hole Irish sports bar. There's Muteki, which is really good for Japanese food. You got Lubu. And then obviously, as I mentioned, the company as well. But there's so much more to it. So make sure you check out Phan Viet Chan area if you are a tourist. If you have any suggestions for something that I've not covered, if you want me to do a whole other episode on the other 100 places, then please send me a message. If you're a bar owner and you want to treat me to a whole selection of free drinks, I will do that. Like, I know it sounds really difficult. It's not something I would normally agree to, but for the podcast, I will agree to come out and try all of your cocktails and then do an episode about it. Like, my morals are that low that I will do an episode for cocktails. Don't worry about it. But if you do have any feedback, if you disagree with anything I said, or you just want to tell me what a horrible job I did, because I realize on this podcast, as I mentioned, I don't normally do solo podcasts, but I realized that I might have talked a lot of shit, a lot of nonsense. I'm sorry about that. But if you did enjoy it, let me know. And most of all, the most important thing is if you did enjoy this episode, or you just wanted to share it with somebody, please share it with somebody else. It really helps the podcast, helps me grow, helps more people hear about it. And if you want to get future notifications for more episodes, make sure you do that thing where you turn on the notifications, follow, subscribe from wherever you are listening or watching from, and then you can get future episodes. And I've honestly lost count of how many episodes we've made now. It's well over 100, maybe 150. So there's a massive back catalogue that you can go back through. This podcast is all about sharing stories of Vietnam. So you can go back through and listen to expats who live here. You can listen to Vietnamese people who live here and overseas. and Viet Kieu, who are people who were born overseas but came back to Vietnam or are children of Vietnamese people. And we have many, many episodes where I interviewed children of Vietnamese boat people who fled Vietnam after the war or who were actually on a boat after the war leaving Vietnam. So some of those stories are quite dark. I wouldn't say dark, but yeah, pretty dark actually, and very deep, but really, really interesting as well. So, and if there's anybody that you would like me to interview, then please get in touch as well, because one of the most difficult things is deciding who to interview and to find people as well. So if there's anyone that you think would be a good guest, then please let me know. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you can listen to some in the past, some in the future, and I hope you have a great day. Cheers. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're like me, you may use your laptop at places where you have to use public Wi-Fi. This opens you up to digital snoopers. It's a massive problem. It can be your internet service provider, or you know who, looking at what you do online, or a cyber criminal trying to steal your bank passwords or credit card info, or even a hacker at the next table trying to steal your sensitive data. These days, it is vital that you keep your data safe. NordVPN keeps all of these snoopers away. It makes your internet activity private, protects you from accessing dangerous websites that are phishing for your data, and lets you enjoy your favorite content securely, even while away from home. And it's easy to use, even I could use it. I've actually been using NordVPN for years now here in Vietnam, and I'm excited to be an affiliate partner with them. I've used NordVPN to watch Netflix, BBC, Disney Plus with ease. And I also know that my information and data are safe from prying eyes, whoever they may be. Join now and you'll get 68% off and 3 months free when you go to my link, nordvpn.com/SMB. Just again, for those hard of hearing, nordvpn.com/SMB. The link is also in the show notes. I know nobody checks them out, but go check that out and you can get the link from wherever you're listening to this podcast. As an affiliate partner, it also means that I will get a small commission when you sign up, but at no extra cost to you. So not only will you be getting a great deal through 7 Million Bikes, you get a great VPN and you'll be supporting 7 Million Bikes podcast. Stay safe online and enjoy the shows you love. Any questions, just let me know. You know how to get in touch with me. And thanks for listening to this show. Cheers.